Here we go!
Hey, what's up, Blue Blurs? What's up, what's up, what's up? This is Gamer Blake 90, your proud chief of the Blue Blurs and your reliable provider of all things Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles the Echidna. There! I didn't forget! In this video, we're gonna be making like the pink Energizer Bunny from that old battery commercial that I'm sure you guys know about as we go through the Flying Battery Zone. Yes, I came up with that joke on the fly. Give me some credit, okay? I'm not that terrible at jokes. And also, a little bit of interesting information here, but before his design was finalized as that of a hedgehog, Sonic was initially going to be a rabbit. I bet a lot of you didn't know that, and in my own case, I didn't know about it either. Well after 2 decades since I first heard of Sonic. That information would not be made clear to me until I played a Sonic fan game called Sonic Overture, which blatantly referenced this fact by introducing another character that looked just like how Sonic would have looked if he were made as a rabbit instead, which I thought was downright awesome. And it does make you wonder just how different history would have been if Sonic were a rabbit instead of a hedgehog. I think Bugs Bunny would have had some unwanted competition. But it's really fascinating to think about. And what's equally fascinating to think about is how differently Sonic 1 could have turned out based on the prototype of that game that surfaced from the Hidden Pals fan organization at the very end of last year. And I'm sure many of you are wondering why I haven't showcased it yet, but rest assured, I will. Huh, okay, so it's not gonna be 100% like Sonic Mania, where when you go above the rotors, you're suspended airborne, just like in Sonic Mania. That detail was only added in, along with the fact that the electrified ceilings would draw you out of them like magnets if you had an electric shield on you. Those weren't made possible until Sonic Mania. So we have a bit of a nerfed version of Flying Battery on our hands, but oh well, I'm sure we'll power through it. Now you gotta be very careful of those landmines that will blow up the second we move past them. You definitely will not want to stay in one place for too long. And you know, the more I think about it, the more I'm pretty grateful that the electric shield gimmick does not apply here, because I actually found it to be a bit of a nuisance trying to go through areas like that without getting crushed by those spiked podiums, as those would lead to instant death if you did get crushed. So, I think I'm pretty grateful for their absence, honestly. However, its existence did allow you to reach areas you otherwise would not be able to get to as well, so it was kind of a double-edged sword. I definitely appreciate the design direction that Sonic Mania went when it brought Flying Battery back. But I think if it were kept the way that it was in Sonic 3, no one would have complained, honestly. Well, the slight soundtrack revamp aside. Okay, running through some battery, boy. And do we want to take the upper or the lower pathway? Let's take the upper pathway. Earlier though, there was a lower pathway I wanted to take where if you stand on a flying platform, it would take you directly underneath the ground, where you would then be deposited outside the ship. And then there would be those rotating barrels that you'd have to run through in order to progress through there. Oh wow. Oh boy! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I almost forgot to mention, but there are some spike beds that you can push aside aboard the Flying Battery. And most of the time, they will take you to a special stage ring. In this instance, we are now on the very last Blue Sphere stage in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Now, out of the 7 Super Emerald stages, we'll call them, this one can be a little bit concerning. For like 95% of it, it's easy come, easy go, but it's the very last 2 spheres you have to pick up that can actually feel quite worrisome. And sooner or later, we'll get that section and you will see what I mean. But it involves you timing your turnaround like this right here. See? When you get bumped backwards by a bumper sphere exactly like that, you'll want to take advantage of it and then wait to turn in the correct direction after you bounce all of them, so you can be sure you pick up all the blue spheres in that particular section and be able to finish the stage as well. Whereas if you drop any along the way, you're gonna be in trouble, because I don't think you're gonna be able to jump back to that section without touching a red sphere along the way. So a little bit of execution is involved here in order to finish the stage, and there is also the concern that the longer you stay in this stage, the faster that you will go. So if you're not ready, you could end up messing up in a way that you would not like. But fortunately, We picked up the first 6 Super Emeralds already, so we'll have a generous number of attempts in this last stage. Worst case scenario that we mess up here. But that ain't gonna happen, boys, because as it turns out, I'm a little too well practiced at these special stages. So well practiced, in fact, that we nailed all of them and got all 7 of the Super Emeralds. And for those of you intimately familiar with Sonic 3, I think you know what that means. Also, look at that. Over 1 million points! I'm a millionaire! Let's go! Alright. The 7 Super Emeralds all powered up. And that's going to trigger a little cutscene where the Master Emerald is fully powered. The servers are the 7 Chaos. Chaos is power, power enriched by the heart. The controller is the one that unifies the Chaos into Hypersonic! Yes, I had to pop up because come on, it is not the most fantastic form of Supersonic that you have ever seen. It even comes equipped with a double jump that caused the entire screen to flash, and anything caught within the vicinity of the attack will be destroyed immediately. This includes items and enemies. So yes, this is pretty broken. If I had to apply a fictional term to this, I would call Hypersonic the Gary Stu of video games. He is that insane. Now, ordinarily, I did promise I wouldn't be going to either the Super or the High Performance playthrough, but for this occasion I just had to make an exception, because come on, you're not gonna go for a Super Emerald run on Sonic 3 without at least 1 or 2 instances where you show off Hypersonic, because this is something that we Sonic fans have yearned to see return for years now. Seeing as Hypersonic was a one-time thing in the series so far. This is the only game in which he shows up, and then he never came back! Which was highly upsetting! And I, for one, am really sick of Hypersonic being a one-time thing. Sega, hear me loud and clear. Bring back Hypersonic! We demand it! But anyway, let me not lose myself too much. Back to the game. This is the Act 1 boss for a flying battery. What you simply do is, you stand on top of here, and just as soon as those spiked balls are about to come flying your way, get out of the way so that they land on top of the switch of that mutated animal capsule, which is more like a robot capsule, as obviously it was designed to be a faker set up for a trap. If you didn't have the hyper form on hand, you would need to stand on the switch long enough for until the boss actually flashes, and then as soon as it does, get out of the way so you don't get hit while the boss attacks itself. And of course, you'll have to do a total of 6 times before the boss is toast. And once you've done that, the first act is completely over and done with, and we'll be going to Flying Battery Act 2, where the events of Sonic 3 really begin to pick up. I mean, things already got interesting as it is. My bad. Wasn't paying attention there. Things already got quite interesting as of a launch phase zone, but now, this is where mistakes will really begin to go up. Alright, come on, get out of there, get out of there. By the way, in Sonic 3 AIR, you may be able to go Super or Hyper if you have a shield equipped, now that I think about it, because of the button that the Super transformation was mapped to. I previously thought that the Super button was mapped over the ability to do Sonic double jump abilities, which was the Insta Shield in this case, along with that with Elemental Shields. So I thought you had to be shieldless to achieve a Super form, but I'm starting to think I may have been wrong. Alright, we gotta be very careful here. It's pretty easy to fall off the screen at that last section if you get ahead of yourself. So take your time, and if you have to, use a floating platform after you come out with rotating batteries, so that you don't lose your footing. Holy crap, and we got 57 lives, like bro, if we keep this up, I wonder if we could attain 99 lives by the end of this series. I find it highly unlikely though, but we might get somewhere close to it. Also, you better be very careful here. You gotta time your spin dash appropriately so that you don't get crushed. That last column we passed by that had those crushing platforms, it's very easy to slip up there, so be extra careful. Act 2 can feel intimidating for this very reason, because there will be a lot of those rotating columns that could crush you, so be very careful. Now, both the fire and electric shields will definitely have a purpose here, as the fire shield will make you immune to the flamethrowers that are built inside those mechanical springs, whereas the electric shield, well, there's not a one, as I take that back, there is one obstacle in particular that the electric shield will guard effectively against, but that's not really up until the second act boss, which will take a while for us to get to, so we're gonna be here a while. Alrighty. By the way, you also get the prototype version of Sonic 3 Super Transformation to listen. It is way less repetitive than the super theme you heard a bit ago. That's simply the invincibility music. Why they decided to make it so boring, honestly, as far as making their choice of the Super Transformation music, I don't know. The prototype music was just fine. But, well, it is what it is. So we're gonna come up here, jump across this gap. Can we jump up here? Yes, we can. Now this bar is gonna give us a helping hand to get us past that rotating battery. And actually, is it a battery or a net? I ended up calling it battery because, you know, flying battery, but I don't know the proper terminology to use. You decide for yourself, though. And wow, look at all those animal capitals lined up along the wall right there. Egghead! You're making it really hard for me to like you, doing things like that. Shame on you! The guy was willing to throw an animal capsule all the way back to the bottom of the earth when Sonic was pursuing him in disguise of a lost Hex world in Sonic Lost World. That guy is heartless! I cannot stand him! Okay, remember that obstacle I talked about earlier with the electric shield? This would be that obstacle, but because we're stuck with a fire shield, we're gonna have to make do with what we've got. How it works is, you simply avoid that laser, and Eggman will be using it to catch you, but because you're avoiding it, he'll be attacking his own ship instead. Ha! Eggman, what you doing? Junking your own machines like that? You really gonna do our job for us? Not that we're unappreciative of the fact, because we'll certainly take it. Tails, watch where you're going? I know you're immortal and all, but I don't like seeing you get electrified like that. But anyway, once Eggman's ship starts to go down, you gotta make your way to the top side of it, all while taking care not to get crushed along the way. As this section unfolds, that platform you see at the bottom of the screen is about to come up any second now, and there it is. You must maneuver along it carefully so that it doesn't inadvertently guide you underneath an obstacle where you could get crushed, as it will always move gradually towards the right, like that, as you're seeing just now. And eventually, the rest of the ship will go down, and you'll have this second part of the boss on your hands. How this will work is, you avoid him for as long as you can, and eventually Eggman will get impatient and bring his craft directly above the bridge. As he does that, take your opportunity to attack him as often as you can to do damage. And of course you won't want to touch the, those spiked hands that Eggman is using to move himself along the bridge like that. Furthermore, there is a flamethrower that will activate if you land directly between the spiked hands like those. But because you have the fire shield on hand, you can render it pretty much irrelevant, so we're not gonna worry about it all that much. And once you nailed 8 hits, the 2 balls are taken care of, and we have concluded the flying battery zone. Wow. Now, I like the attention to detail on the part of Eukaryote there, because in the original Sonic 3, those poor animals would just fall right off that bridge and potentially to their death all the way down to the earth. Speaking of the earth, we almost fell to our own death, but we had the sand there to cushion our fall as we prepare to head into the Sandopolis zone. Holy crap. I swear, man, I stumble over my own words sometimes that it is embarrassing. But anyway, Eukaryote took care to ensure that the animals would not fall off that bridge after you cleared the flying battery stage, whereas in the original Sonic 3, they would end up falling off of it, and I'd be like, why? So, props to Eukaryote for that attention to detail. Anyways, flying batteries behind us, Hypersonic is unlocked, and we'll be diving into the Sandopolis zone, which I'm pretty sure is one of the least liked stages in Sonic history. And to be honest, I don't blame them. However, we're gonna take ourselves a reprieve here, as that will be it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you are enjoying this playthrough so far, let me know your thoughts with your likes and comments down below. And of course, to keep up with my content as it comes, hit that sub button and ring that bell so y'all don't miss out on anything, cause that would be a shame if you did. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you for when we go through the Sandopolis zone in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Until then, peace out guys. Blue Blurs for life. I'll see y'all later. Take care.